Back last year when Jojo Siwa put out her hit single Karma and seemed to be crashing out in a very public way, there were many parallels drawn between Jojo Siwa and Miley Cyrus's wild and crazy Wrecking Ball bangers era. And this is something that Jojo Siwa even admitted to at the time, that she idolized Miley Cyrus as a kid. She was a huge fan of her, and she wanted to replicate something like Miley Cyrus's crazy phase that she went through. And now, Miley Cyrus has come out and talked about, in recent events, Jojo Siwa seemingly abandoning her LGBTQ identity and embarking on a heterosexual relationship with Chris Hughes, who she met on Celebrity Big Brother.
Crisis meter is now working again, but it did not
fantastic.
register the first 20.
Okay.
So picked up. So thank you guys.
Thank you very much, guys.
So
We appreciate it.
at a Pride event, Miley Cyrus told the audience that she would like to pull Jojo Siwa back out of the closet again so that she can embrace her true identity as a lesbian. This was the video of Miley Cyrus making this joke.
Man.
My real issue with this is that's not a closet, it's a pantry.
Yeah, it's not a closet
It's
at
not
all.
a closet.
She
You know,
doesn't want to show.
language-
I don't think
language
Miley
matters.
Cyrus wants to show her real closet because it would attract robbers.
Yeah, lots of money in there.
Yeah.
I mean, she's got like a full thing of Sour Patch Kids there. That's attracting me. I go over there.
Enjoy coming out of the closet. If this Pride is the time for you, it's Miley. I just want to tell you, have an amazing World Pride. Is it a month? It should be a year. It should be infinite. All right, I'm going back to get some more pretzels and find Jojo Siwa and bring her back out.
So she said she's gonna go back into the closet and find Jojo Siwa and pull her back out of it so she can be the true lesbian that she is. And Jojo Siwa, being a huge fan and also personal friend of Miley Cyrus, decided to publicly address this joke, which was interpreted as a snub, on Instagram, celebrating her birthday. She turned 22. She said, "I was happy at my 5th birthday having a Miley-themed party," which is absolutely insane. Your parents should not have allowed you to do that. "I'm still happy now at 22. If you know me, you know that Miley is my day one. Grew up beyond inspired by her from 2 years old on. I wasn't sure how I felt about things for a couple of days, but I've started to come to some thoughts. I don't believe what Miley said at World Pride was ill-intended, honestly. I think it was meant to be a joke, but just not a very good one. Not what the world or myself needs to hear any day of the week." I messaged Miley lightheartedly about it, and she replied saying, "All love always. Honestly, the most beautiful thing I've learned in the past 5 years is that love is a gorgeous rainbow. Don't question yourself. Don't second guess yourself. Just love, 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 love. People judge no matter what, and it can be very hard, especially when it comes from someone you love and look up to. But if you feel happy and content with yourself, that's what's most important. You get one life, hold on to it, and make it yours. Find your happy and love," heart emoji. So she didn't actually respond to what Miley Cyrus was saying. She didn't address whether she is either queer or straight or lesbian or what she would label herself as, but clearly she's in love with a man after identifying as a lesbian, and that is a topic of conversation. But this parallel between the trajectory of Jojo Siwa's career and Miley Cyrus's career is so interesting to me because Miley Cyrus has actually cleaned up her act as well over time. She has stopped, shaving her head and twerking and sticking her tongue out the way that she used to in the early 2010s and adopted a more grown-up persona. And she recently appeared on Monica Lewinsky's podcast to talk about her regrets over that crazy phase that she went through.
At a certain point, you hit a certain age, and everyone's like, "Why are you still doing that?" Like, it doesn't even necessarily have to be like maturing as an adult, but purely for the sake of like, you don't want to be the pop version of "Hello there, fellow kids."
Sure, it definitely has
Right?
an expiration date
It does.
built in there, unless you're Madonna. But this was what Miley Cyrus said about the path of destruction she left in her wake.
This
during
is
this.
a remarkably like even keel and mature.
It was fascinating,
Yes.
like that she was so mature to say all of this, and I wanna go through
Here we go.
her comments.
There was even a time where my brother and sister didn't want to go to school because of how humiliated they were to be related to me. And I remember even, you know, my brother at one point, he was saying, I don't judge you, but you could understand how hard it is for me to go to school and you be my sister.
Yeah.
And that really, you know, I was a hard sibling to have as a little girl, so I was like, all right, we're even. Like, you know. But it was really hard for me in 2013, and I lost everything during that time in my personal life because of the choices I was making professionally. You know, if I kept dressing or acting a certain way, my relationships fell apart. No one wanted to date me because they didn't want to be with a woman. That sexual expression part was not for them. It was like shared with the world. So like guys, when I would try to date, when I was dating or who I was engaged at the time, that didn't work out because I was sharing a part of myself that men wanted to be saved for them only. And the fact that I would, you know, pose nude or dance in very little clothes or show my body was making them feel like I was taking something away that was meant to be for them. So I would have really hard times dating. And it was really hard. It was really hard for me to go home and see my dad and like look him in the eyes and not feel super embarrassed. You know, same thing. My grandmother was like my grandmother is my best friend. She's dead, but she's still my best friend. And I was like, oh God, this is going to kill her.
Yeah, so that was a remarkably, like, I expected some editorializing from her about the part about men wanting that to be kept between them, about how it made them insecure or how they were bad people for not letting her sexualize herself to everybody. But she didn't do that. Also, like, given that her dad is not exactly like the most put together dude in the world, being embarrassed.
What do you mean
about being around Billy Ray Cyrus is embarrassing because you feel like you're embarrassing yourself around him? That says something about what your thoughts are on your own behavior.
Wait, so aside from Billy Ray Cyrus's music, have there been things that he has done personally, publicly, that were embarrassing, or is it just that he's Billy Ray Cyrus and so that's kind of cringe because he did Achy Breaky Heart?
No,
one
he's
of
kind
his
of drunk.
Yeah, one of his sons, Trace Cyrus, actually just last year posted something about, or maybe it was like in January during the inauguration. He posted something about Billy Ray going down a self-destructive path and like
he's dating Elizabeth Hurley now.
Yes,
I just saw that.
She's 60.
She's
and
like
she looks amazing at 60.
It was just weird because she's British, right? I'm
Yes,
like, what
she
is
is.
this posh British woman doing with like leather face looking Billy Ray Cyrus?
well, it was just
Long-haired Billy Ray Cyrus.
it was shocking to hear Miley Cyrus say that. Honestly, like to really look back on your misspent youth and recognize that it hurt other people and mature. It takes a lot of maturity to recognize that.
We have a 20 here on Rumble. It's from Iron Comics. Says Miley sounds like that stop smoking lady in those commercials from the 80s and 90s.
Yeah, she recently addressed the comments that she gets about her voice and how low and raspy it's become. She actually was born with, I forget the name of it, but it's some sort of vocal cord condition where it basically was inevitable that would happen. And certainly the partying, drinking, and smoking didn't help. But she has some sort of polyps on her vocal cords. So that was going to happen to her anyway.
Is she still capable of singing?
Yeah, I mean, I prefer her old voice, but she's still, it's a voice that's much different from most pop stars, but people love it.
Okay. Can she still do the stuff, her old stuff?
I doubt that she could at the same
anyways.
key.
It's like I remember when Justin Bieber hit puberty and he's like, I can't do this. I have to do them differently.
You have to do it in a different key.
My
for
voice
sure.
is not the same anymore.
But she was 23 back when Wrecking Ball came out, and she was this total laughing stock to everybody. And Jojo Siwa just turned 22. It seems like Jojo Siwa has just done a speed run of doing the crazy thing, which was only months ago. And now, as you can see in this video, this interview with Billboard, Jojo Siwa is kind of embarrassed of her Karma era.
This makes me laugh.
She doesn't identify with it
Karma
anymore.
Era when she was wearing the She basically was stealing Kiss's idea.
Yes,
Okay.
that's the
Literally
picture
6 months.
she's
It was
reacting
like 6
to.
months
Yes.
ago.
Well, I remember
Yes.
we talked about it, and I was critical of her.
It's like
Kiss
all the
outfit
way
as well.
long ago, like in the last 8 months of Biden's administration. Here we
Yeah.
go.
You know what? Hi, how are you? I don't know who this is. Before I got out of the car in this outfit, I was like, I need to go home. I can't go. I can't go. I need to go home. And my best friend Ezra was like, babe, let's go. You look cool. And I was like, okay, let's go.
Ezra hates you.
Yeah.
That's the karma beast. I don't really have much more to say about it. You know,
Okay, Ezra doesn't hate you. Ezra knows that you have contractual obligations that you have
Well,
to complete.
true.
Ezra wants you to
Yes.
not get taken to court for not doing your job.
Yeah.
Ezra loves you, okay?
Yeah,
I changed my
that's
mind.
Probably pretty true.
It's just interesting that she's taken such a dramatic turn in such a short amount of time, and that Jojo Siwa and Miley Cyrus seem to be these kindred spirits with broken, raspy voices. Who
I think it's got to do with the time in which they came into those phases, which is that Miley didn't speed run it because it was at the start of that
Yeah.
that change in the culture, whereas JoJo just had the bad fortune of like getting into it just as the culture was going into the cultural vibe shift. And now she's like she identified a better path for herself musically and as far as her identity. Not to say anything about her sexuality, but as far as her actual on-stage image, which kind of has to reflect what the culture is at the time, she just kind of came into it a little bit too late and had to like change course immediately.
Exactly. Miley Cyrus had to walk so that Jojo Siwa could run.
And then
In that
sidestep.
timeline of Child Star, where Miley Cyrus was a Disney kid, Jojo Siwa was a Nickelodeon kid. They were beloved, like family-friendly
JoJo Siwa is
characters.
just barely old enough to be not considered a Nickelodeon kid, correct?
At 22.
22. Okay,
yeah.
so around 22. All right, so maybe not.
I mean, and with this huge empire around them and their personas, and then they go crazy and go
Yeah.
wild and attention seeking all
Yeah.
over the place. Then
No, they got tons of money,
Yeah.
or at least tons of credit because they've got records and things that they're working on, so they can have access to all kinds of party stuff or whatever, and they're in LA and blah blah blah. Like,
then
man.
they clean up after
Yeah.
the fact and realize that was actually super embarrassing, not only for themselves but everyone around them.
If they're lucky, they do it before they turn 27 and something bad happens to them, because 27 is the age that
Right.
people seem to accidentally off themselves.
I mean, part of it is
Maybe didn't know
also for a celebrity like JoJo Siwa is just kind of identifying which way the winds are blowing for her because she's
probably
so
fair.
young in her career. I mean, for how long she's been around, she's still got a long way to go.
Is she a good singer?
She can sing, I guess.
She can sing. I wouldn't say that's her strong suit. She's
Yeah.
basically an entertainer.
Yeah.
You know, she has a lot of charisma,
Okay.
and she definitely has a strong fan
riz.
base still. It's just she realized
She's
that
a dancer more than a singer.
yeah, and she's not a great dancer either, but like she has the spirit.
Yeah.
I think she's probably on a good track. It seems like she knows what's good for her now.
I don't want to like just dump on her, but she's not very pretty, in my opinion.
I actually disagree. I think she's very pretty. She just has done a lot to distract from her beauty.
Maybe that's possible. Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's got a path forward if she can kind of find her own niche that's not, what everybody else was doing 5 years ago.
Yeah. Maybe a Jojo Siwa, Miley Cyrus collab is in the future.
That could benefit both of them.
Yes, it could.
I don't know if does that benefit Miley Cyrus? I feel like
I think so.
I feel
Her
like
album
Why do you
rollout
think
is
that it wouldn't?
flopping.
I
right now.
feel maybe it doesn't hurt her, but it's like if you I don't feel like there's this fan base of JoJo Siwa that's like Miley Cyrus. I have to check this woman out. Like it benefits JoJo more than it benefits Miley.
I think it could add some coolness points to Miley since her album rollout isn't going so well right now.
Yeah, if you can, I think that any kind of, publicity like that, where you're using the other's publicity to help prop you up, that's a good thing. I love doing that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So.
Thanks for watching. Listen to full episodes of Pop Culture Crisis on Spotify.
Keep up with us on social media and make sure you subscribe and ring that bell so you never miss the show. Bye, guys.